Thanks everyone for joining. Our next call today is going to be with Katie. Not only is she one of our great team members, but she has a real big background in marketing, works with a marketing company, and that's what we're going to talk about today. We are going to have some handouts that we're going to share with you guys, kind of like a checklist that you guys will be able to use and see as well. And then in the comments, we're also going to put in a Calendly link. So if after this call you want to set up a conversation with Katie one-on-one to talk about your business and things like that, absolutely go ahead and do that as well. So Katie, thanks for joining us. We will kind of get rolling and tell us a little bit about yourself real quick and kind of your social media marketing background and what that looks like for you.
Of course. Well, first off, thank you everybody for inviting me on this morning. I'm super excited to see everyone. A little bit about me. I'm actually from just outside of Chicago. That's where I started not only this marketing agency, but my real estate journey as well. And then my husband and I moved out to Colorado about 3 years ago, and by far the best decision we've ever made. For marketing, I've actually been in marketing for 15 years. And then I've been in digital freelancing and social media management, specifically the last 7. Really kind of came about on accident. Back at my old brokerage outside of Chicago, I started helping a few agents with their social media pages. Word kind of got out, started helping a few more, and now grew into this absolutely amazing animal years later. I've got a wonderful team. We're nationwide, and I absolutely love doing it.
Awesome. So with regards to that, is it basically real estate related only? Do you branch out from real estate? What does that look like in your company?
So we're real estate specific. So I work with mostly real estate agents, any type of professionals. Sometimes it's their VAs because I do coaching for them as well. And then loan people as well. I do some lenders in there. But we do have a couple of people who we also are not related at all with real estate. So we've got financial advisors. I work with some big time TED Talk financial advisors. I help influencers get brand deals as well. So some of my larger accounts have just over 2 million followers that I help with.
Ooh, nice. Okay. So let's hold on there then, because that's going to be kind of a trigger there. So to go from, if someone had 1,000 followers to 2 million, give us a couple of tips on that. What does that look like? Is it spending a lot of money? Is it a consistency thing? What does that look like?
It's really all about building your community. And I think that's why I have a lot of real estate professionals come to me, is because a lot of people focus on that follower count. A lot of people are very engaged. If I'm not growing my followers, how am I growing my business? But I can tell you right now, if you're not engaging 500 followers, you're not going to be engaging 5,000, 5 million followers. So it's really about building that strong community foundation.
Okay. And so with that, is it more video related? Is it text related? Kind of what do you think some of the key ways to do that is?
Some of the key ways to do that is definitely having a strategy in place. The biggest thing that I tell, especially realtors and honestly any business owners or entrepreneurs, just as you make a business plan, you need a content strategy plan, and you need consistency in that when it comes to your social media.
Okay. And so what are you seeing people do not very well? I know you said that the consistency, maybe that's part of it, but what are a couple of things that you're seeing agents, whether they're posting? Is it not enough hashtags? Is it doesn't look perfect? What do you see that some of the issues agents are doing?
I always say you don't need to strive for perfection. If you keep it saved in your drafts, nobody's going to see it. So getting something up is better than getting nothing up. But probably the biggest problem that I'm seeing is realtors will start these pages and then the consistency just isn't there. It's super sporadic, or maybe they'll start off with like some knowledge posts and trying to educate the public, and then they won't post for a couple months, and all of a sudden you'll see a picture of their dog, which is great. We love to have those personal posts, but you got to have some good mixture in there to lead up to that.
Yeah. Okay. Do you see a certain engagement? Like, is it pictures get better engagement than videos? Because I know right now I see a lot of like these YouTube shorts and things like that. What are you seeing in kind of 2023 that should be a focus?
So 2023, I think mixture is going to be a focus. If you're an Instagram follower, 2022 is all about the reels. Instagram really tried to push reels. TikTok was really big. Now everybody on all algorithm platforms is like, videos are great. But so you really want to have a mixture of videos and static images with some movement, because you can put movement on static images. And then carousels are becoming really big too, which is where you have 3 images simultaneously, but it's less than 8 because you don't want to lose people getting kind of drifting off if it's more than 8. So somewhere in between there.
Okay. So is that kind of like those Instagram posts where you see it moves pretty quick? Is that what you're talking about with the carousel, or is that something
where it says like swipe? If it's like swipe right, or you see a little arrow on a static image and it makes you swipe over the little dots at the bottom, that's a carousel.
Awesome. Okay. Okay. And are you seeing one way or the other on a certain platform that has better success than others? Are you seeing if Facebook's better than Instagram, or what do you think?
No, I actually get this question quite a bit, especially in my consults. Everybody, especially realtors, are like, what's the number one platform for real estate agents? And I tell everybody, it's what you're comfortable with. If you're comfortable with on Instagram, put more into Instagram. If you're comfortable on Facebook, put more into Facebook, and vice versa. But try and be on at least 2 platforms, if you can 3, but really focus on one that you're comfortable with. If you know Instagram really well and you like Instagram, make all your posts on there, make that your main point, but then just take those same posts and put them on the other platforms, because you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You can use the same content across all.
That makes sense. I see on Instagram a lot where some of the bigger pages that have a lot of followers, they obviously have their posts, but then they have the stories, and it's all different stories and things like that. Do you need to do that? Is that a good thing to do? What do you think about those?
I love stories. I do, because I think stories really are kind of like a short highlight into your day, into your life. It gives good engagement, because now they have things where you can do polls on there. You can add yours, which is where you can post like, I'm having this for breakfast, add yours, and people can just add in their breakfast. So I think it's a good way to keep your audience engaged and kind of build that community, because people will see your posts, and posts last forever. Stories only last for 24 hours. So it makes people want to come back to see what you're still doing.
Like that. Okay. And with Instagram page, I've seen some where all the posts or the page itself looks a certain way, and by that it's it's a certain kind of color or a certain kind of brand or something. Is that necessary? Is it not necessary?
So I love brand. I'm a big brand person. I believe that your page should definitely have a vibe, theme, brand, however you'd like to word it, but definitely have something where if somebody sees an image or sees your page without even, if you could cover up your top, people will know instantly, that's Josh. I know this page. That's exactly what you should have on there. But the organic stuff, like for my pages, I will sometimes just turn my camera around and be like, hey guys, it's Katie. And I'll drop some knowledge, or I'll be like, check out where I am today. A little bit of those organic posts in there too are really well, but you want your main focus to have some sort of synchronicity to it.
Okay. Okay. And we have a question from Alexis. She said, do you recommend auto-populating your Instagram content directly to Facebook and vice versa, or customize across the separate platforms? Great question.
Honestly, you can auto-populate it. I haven't seen an issue with it. I know that might be an unpopular opinion, but I don't see a problem with it. Facebook algorithm is going to pick it up just the same way. There's no need to create the extra time for yourself from copying, pasting, logging in, reposting. You can just auto-populate.
Awesome. And I suppose I've seen a lot more recently, and this is how not tech savvy I am, which everyone would tell you. I see a lot of these videos and stuff being posted now, and it has the captions. So what they're saying, the captions are there. Do you recommend we do that? Is it not a big deal if you don't do that? What do you think?
I am a big believer in captions, especially if you're talking. If it's a song you've got playing in the background, no need to worry about it. But if you're talking, always put captions on, because studies have shown that over 80% of the time, people are watching these videos in an area that they can't have sound on. So probably work, but neither here nor there. So definitely have captions on. You can use captions from the Instagram app or Facebook app. Otherwise, there's some great apps out there where you can download your video. It'll create the captions for you and you can re-upload.
Okay, so say that part again. So if I'm on Instagram, I'm doing this video.
Yep.
How do I get those captions there?
Okay, so you would go in, and when you're uploading the video, if you're in Reels or in Stories, if you just go up to your stickers, that little smiley face sticker at the top right-hand corner, click that. Little button's going to pop up that says captions in there. Just click captions and it will auto-populate for you. And then you can always go back in and just click words if you need to edit words in there.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I've seen that sometimes where people didn't go back and edit the words and it's not what they said. So okay.
Always edit people.
Okay. And so, oh yes, go on.
Sorry, just a quick question. There are programs out there that are terrible because they're not yours. However, they just create content and then they just, hey, here it is, right? It's just generic stuff. Can you tell us why that's not a good idea?
Yes, I really try and push people away from those. I know that they seem super cost effective, but your page is going to look like everybody else's page. I actually took over and helped a brokerage that's outside of Colorado because they had purchased one of these and they rapidly realized on the same day, every single agent and their brokerage had the exact same post with the exact same wording. And there was nothing different about it. So there was no standout about it. There was nothing that personalized it that made somebody recognize or want to engage with that brokerage or that particular agent, because everything just looked the same. With real estate, everybody knows there's lots of realtors out there. You need to make sure that you're standing out. And when we personalize our content for our realtors, you do stand out. We've got your image, we've got your contact info. You are literally branded to that image in that post.
And Katie, I don't want to give away all your tips and tricks and stuff because it's your company, but when you say you brand the agent and you're doing all these things, is there one or two things you could share that you do that is like a huge value to someone that may be interested in talking with you guys?
Yeah, definitely. I always like to know, since I work nationwide, I always like to know what my agent's general sphere of influence looks like. Do you have a lot of families? Do you have a lot of first-time home buyers? Do you have a lot of sellers? Because that will really help us personalize what type of content we're going to produce for you. If you're a newer agent, we just try and make it a broad spectrum of like, hey, what do you want to be an expert in? Like in 10 years from now, what do you want people to know you for? And we'll try and help them kind of build that brand from the ground up then. Another tidbit is, I know it sounds silly, but look for your colors. If you're part of Remax or you're part of Keller, it's great to use their brand colors, but also make sure you have some of your own colors and tidbits that make you stand out from your brand too.
Okay. And with your company, because I had a friend of mine, he done like bodybuilding stuff, and he had some companies that he was set up where he would have to do a certain amount of posts that he would take pictures of, send it to them, and then they would do all the posting for him. Is that how you guys work, or do you work in a different way?
We actually work in a couple different capacities. So we do everything. We have a couple agents who are not tech savvy at all, and I'm not even sure if they quite know how to log into their accounts, but we honestly build absolutely everything for them. We come up with all the ideas, we come up with all the posts. The only thing they've ever sent us is, in the beginning, we ask for a photo of you and then any logos or brokerage things that you might need on your post. And we do 100% on our own creation. Then we have a couple other ones that will shoot us videos or take pictures or do walkthroughs of open houses and send us all that content. And then we'll edit it all, put it all together to create the content. So it's still them, but it's just a little bit more personalized and they don't have to stress so much about editing and getting it together.
Awesome, like that. And actually, as I'm asking a couple of questions, could you pull up that checklist sheet that we have and that we can share on the screen and go over? What would you say with regards to posts and or plans that you've used, which kind of topic or whatever gives you the best ROI, do you think, gives you the best reaction?
It really depends on how you're judging that. If you're looking for client return on clients that I've gotten, it's any community posts that I make or events that I invite clients to, because I've had countless events that clients have been like, I saw your post and I came to see you, or I've gotten new clients off of that. If it's off of views, I have this really silly video and I laugh every time people ask. It's from 3 or 4 years ago, and it's all about me talking about what should be in an emergency car bag. I am standing in the snow, it's pouring down on me, and I am just describing what should be in your emergency bag if you get stranded somewhere. And it's still getting likes and views, and I still have people message me being like, this was the best thing I've seen. So it kind of depends on what avenue you're going down, but both those kind of tell me anything that's engaging and out to the public that they can relate back to or want to engage with is probably the best.
Love it. Awesome. Ashley, do you have that sheet so we can touch on that as well?
Hey, Katie, we were talking about one of the things is just stuff that you look at when you're scrolling, right? You want it to be interesting to you, so be interesting, that same sort of thing, right? I mean, it's just not content for the sake of content. It is be interesting and be funny if you can. If you're not funny, don't be funny. I mean, it's just be you, right?
Exactly. And you have to think about your content a little bit how you think about like your client touches or your SOI touches that you make to your database. If you were going to make a touch and it had to be of non-verbal touch, almost like an email. Okay, you have that email. Now, how can we make that email an image? And then that's kind of sometimes how you can come up with some different content ideas as well, because you want it to be engaging, just like you said.
Love that. Okay, so if you want to, I know this is your document that we're going to share with everyone on the call as well. Go through some of this, kind of walk us through it like you would maybe a consultation, obviously not a full consultation because that's what they're going to reach out to you for. But touch on some of these points for you, what are the most important ones?
Yeah, definitely. So this is something that I'm sending home with you guys today, or feel free, like Josh said, to, email me or book a consultation with me. But this is just some jumping off points for you guys. If you either haven't started your social media pages or you have and you're feeling a little bit stuck, these are just basic ideas. So the first top part is content ideas. So those can be carousels, static images, things that you can build off of from there. Same with the Reels ideas. Now there's only a handful because I usually like to take one piece of content. I can take one image and make it into 10 pieces of content. So I know that sounds a little bit higher end for this, but just start as this is the basics. And honestly, the biggest thing is just have fun with it. If you're not having fun with it, the vibe's going to be out there, and people can tell if you're just like really straight faced and you're kind of just reading from a script. You want to be very engaging in your content if you're doing a video. If you're doing images, really try and make them light and bright and fun, and really have it where somebody can, you know, engage with that image. I've seen a lot, and we do a lot where it's like, drop the hands up symbol, or drop a thumbs up if you agree with this, or drop a word in. That's a great way to get people to engage with static images.
Like that. With regards to the engagement there, how do you overcome the whole, because I'm assuming when you first start doing this, not as much engagement. You're not going to have as many people watching it, not many people. So how do you stop yourself from having that point of, I've done this 5 times and one person commented and it's a waste of time?
I completely understand that. And we get that a lot as well. It's honestly just watching what you're posting. And then if something's done really, really well, try and recreate that. If you've got a really good post, and this is always the heartbreaking one for me, where people put so much into a post and they think it's going to do so well. And then, like you said, they get 1 like on it. The only thing I can say about that is not everybody likes, but more people will see it than what they actually like. So I've had people come up to me that have commented about videos that I've done or images I've done, and they don't even follow me, but they've seen it, but they haven't engaged with it. So don't give up, keep staying consistent, and it will come.
Awesome. And so with your company, with the consultation, let's kind of touch on that a little bit. Obviously, you're going to have the Calendly invite. Is that a free consultation? Is there a cost to that just for the consultation? What does that look like?
So the consultations are completely free. And like I said, we do everything from social media management, where you're 100% hands off if you want to be, to social media coaching, where if you want to learn more about how to engage your audience and build that community on your own. And the consultation's free. It usually lasts about 20 minutes to a half an hour. We answer all of your questions. We can give you an idea on price point, because we do customize our price point. We really try and work with everybody's budget, especially with realtors. You know, things are flexible, and year by year, you know how it can go, especially after 2020. I think we all know how years can go. And we really like to try and work with people to get them to where they want to be at the price point they need to be at.
Awesome. And so if someone was working with you, Katie, in your company, do they work with you? Do you have people that work with you that are qualified as well? How does your organization look like?
So I have 5 qualified girls that they've all either done graphic design work through, you know, all sorts of accredited colleges, or I've got an excellent VA program as well. So if anybody ever needs virtual assistants, I have great VAs as well that are for hire as also. But you're usually talking with me in a consult. If you're not talking directly with me, you're talking with one of my higher ups, who's my right hand. And then you will talk to me no matter what. I make sure that everybody has my personal email and my personal phone number. So if anything ever does happen, you can definitely contact me. And I always have my hand in every single account that we do have, because I do like to make sure to check the work before it goes out.
Awesome. Love that. And so I know we've got some marketing brains on this call. I know we've got Miss Elizabeth as well. Any questions that we want to ask? I mean, well, we've got someone like Katie on. Ask away. Yes,
what
Ashley.
are your thoughts on hashtags? I've heard so many different things.
Hashtags are one of those personal opinion things, especially in the social media field right now. I mean, honestly, there's so much out there. Some people are saying don't use hashtags. Some people are saying use 5 to 8. I always say make a branded hashtag. So I have like Katie Zuromski Realtor. I've got Front Range Alpha Marketing. Use those hashtags no matter what. But when you're going through hashtags, just a good rule of thumb, regardless of what you believe in when it comes to hashtags, try and keep it 10 to 12 or less if you really have to. Because I do know some brokerages and teams require hashtags to be on there, so that eats up a little bit. So 10 to 12 or less, and do your hashtag research. That's a big thing that we do as well. We do a lot of hashtag research on our back end when we're doing copyright to make sure that nothing's been, you know, blacklisted or not usable anymore. And if you're not using a hashtag that's relevant to what you're posting, Instagram especially is cracking down on it. Same thing with trending audios. If your trending audio is not relevant to the trends that the audio is already with, Instagram's not going to promote it. So Instagram's really cracking down.
You said something there, Katie, that I want to touch on. You said you track the hashtags, the ones that have been blacklisted, things like that. What does that even mean?
So there are some hashtags out there. Instagram kind of did a big overhaul over the last 2 years where they're trying to cut down on spam and robo just accounts in general. If anybody was a part of that big Instagram shutdown a couple months ago, that was fun. That was part of it. And what they're trying to do is take hashtags that are just overused. This isn't one, but let's just say it is, for example, like hashtag it's sunny out. If that's overused and you hashtag it on your image or your reel, Instagram's going to immediately put it into a dark space. You might not get any views. You might only get a couple views, maybe a like, because they're really trying to stop the overpopulation, because that happened to be a hashtag that a lot of bots and spam accounts were using.
Makes sense. Okay. And Miss Libas, I know I saw you come off mute a second ago. Sorry. Did you have a question?
Oh, you're fine. Katie, break this down for everybody. What's one thing that everybody can do today to get started?
The number one thing I am telling all of my realtors to do today is the introduce yourself. It is a new year, new home, jump on. Even if you don't want to show your face, you can do a reel of a bunch of images with a voiceover. Introduce yourself to everybody again. If you're just starting your account, introduce yourself. Hey guys, it's 2023. Here's why I'm your home expert, and get that out there today.
I love that. And then follow-up question, what's the one piece of technology that you think everybody needs to have to do any of this?
Man, people are going to laugh. I love my selfie stick and ring light. I do. It's why I'm glowing right now, but it is truly, you can get it on Amazon. They are amazing and they are not expensive. I'm a big Josh, thank you. Like I'm a big cost-effective gal, and you can get these on Amazon super cheap, and they will honestly make a huge, huge difference in the way your videos are produced and just everything. I love it.
So for that person that says, Katie, this all sounds great, and I hear the tips, and I don't know, what's it all for? Why is it all for, Katie? Why do we even do this?
So I get that question a lot, especially from realtors who've been in the game for over 10 years. But honestly, social media and digital is where everything is truly heading. I have realtors that reach out to me that are like, I didn't even know these groups existed, and you're posting my listings in these groups, and my clients saw it and they're over the moon excited. They love how this looks. They love the images. It's a big, big selling point, especially I've gotten a lot from listing appointments that like people will ask, well, where do you post? They don't want the paper anymore. They want to know where you're posting. They want to know what your reach is, what groups you're posting their open houses in. So that's why it's critical to have social media and leverage it the way you need to, especially in this day and age. So not only you stay relevant, but you stay just consistent with it, so your clients see you being consistent with it. It's a great way to touch with your SOI.
Yeah. And then my last question is, and you touched on it a little bit, if I am sitting in front of a consumer, right, a buyer or a seller, what's important that we as realtors communicate to them about our social media presence?
So one of my realtors actually told me this, and I loved it. And I've started pitching it in some of my sit downs with clients as well. But how she leverages it and how I tell my agents to leverage it is that you tell them that I have a huge social media presence. I have a company behind me that is nationwide. I've got some of the top graphic designers and audio editors and podcasts, however you want to word it. I can give you a whole list of what we do behind it. And I'm going to take them and they're going to solo focus on your house and your listing and getting this pumped out for me. And we're going to take it next level. And, that's honestly one of the best things you can do right now. Because again, social media presence is huge. And I think if we start using it a little bit better as real estate agents, it can really make a big difference in business.
Okay, so I have to lean into that because you said use it better. What does using it better look like?
Just honestly, get on it. Get on it. Start making those educational posts. Start putting your face out there. If you don't want to put your face out there, put a beautiful picture of you out there, and I can help you make some videos that don't have your face in it. But just start making your presence known. Get that digital footprint out there, because also when people Google your name, your social media pages are going to pop up. They do. They populate just like anything else, just like your website, anything like that. And most of the time now, studies have shown people aren't going to Google to look people up. They're going to Facebook to look people up.
Love it. That is awesome. Anyone else have any other follow-up questions to that?
Actually do, believe it or not. So for somebody like myself who is dreading trying to maintain consistency on social media, I do better when I block out time for things. How much time should I block into a single day for an entire week of content, and what should that content look like?
Great question.
So if you're one of those people that truly stresses doing social media, the first thing I'm going to tell you, yep, I get it, totally get it. don't block out time in one day to do it. Give
Okay.
yourself at least 3 days. Do one day, 1 hour of coming up with content ideas and loosely writing captions. Second day, do your creation. Third day, do your editing and scheduling. Because if you really start blocking out 4 or 5 hours, you're going to be like, I'm over this. I'm done. I'm fried. I don't want to do it again. If you break it up over 3 days, it'll make things a whole lot easier.
And a follow-up to that then, Katie, is do you recommend, how far out do you plan? So by that, I mean, are you thinking, okay, these are my post Q1, these are my post Q2, or are you planning just a week ahead or a month ahead? What does that look like?
So for me personally, in my agency, we plan a month ahead, but most of my realtors, we go between 1 and 2 weeks. How we do things is every Thursday, my realtor clients get an email that says exactly what the content is. They even sometimes get emails of the hashtag, caption, and image, and that full breakdown, so they know what's coming in the week ahead and they can make adjustments if they need to. But usually trying to do a week to 2 weeks out is best because things are constantly changing in the market. You might get a listing, you might have to pop it in an open house, but at least having that consistency there helps you feel less overwhelmed and like, oh man, I didn't get tomorrow's done. I got to do tomorrow's. You at least have days planned ahead. And for us, we do everything from, scheduling out 2 days a week to we have multiple clients that do 7 days a week, 365. We have posts going out for. So it really just depends on what you and your business want to do.
Awesome. And Nikki, did you have a question, sir?
Yes. So Katie, I'm just coming from obviously the marketing side. So right now I feel like we're kind of struggling to find a community with other social media marketing. So do you have any groups that you're a part of, even if, agents want to join them, or there are fresh ideas out there, anything of that sort?
So there's not too many groups that have content ideas because I'll be honest with you, I'm one of the few that I feel like really goes out and is like, hey, this is what I do. These are the ideas. Take it, run. I feel a lot of people in my industry are very closed off, and I'm really not sure why. Apparently it's one of my unpopular opinions in this industry. But if you go into different types of I know Lab Coats is a great Facebook group. There's a couple other really good Facebook groups that are very large agent wise. And I've seen multiple times, I've even posted in them and I'm like, hey, agents, what do you want to see more of on social media? Or what are your clients asking to see more of? And truthfully, that can even be a post for you on a social media page. Hey, what do you want to learn about this week? Give it a poll, put an ask me question in there, make it a story, make it a reel, and get that engagement from your audience to see what your audience wants to learn more about.
Love that. Awesome. Any other final questions? We are right at 10. That's perfect timing. Good job, Nikki. I like that final question. Any other questions to wrap up, guys? Like I mentioned.
have one last one. So
Yes,
what are
go
your
ahead,
thoughts? So I've been shooting videos. I'm here in Wichita, and I've been shooting videos with people kind of of influence, but also own their own businesses to help kind of not only have the influence part of it, but also help support their business. What's your thought behind that?
I love business spotlights. I'm a big business spotlight person or community spotlight person. So I think that's great. I think talking with them, whether it's an interview or just maybe you walking through their store and taking a couple images and videos, I think that's excellent. Tag them, email them. I always suggest emailing or DMing them and just being like, hey, I shot this. I absolutely love it. Give a few reasons why you love it. Be like, I hope it's all right that I promoted it if you haven't talked to them prior to, but I think it's a great way to get community engagement. And actually saying that, because I saw Josh, you look like you're gonna say something, but another great thing that you guys can do too is community events. I know actually one of the gals on our team, Kristen, she is amazing at doing these free days, and she puts together an entire calendar. She posts it on her social media, and then she goes to all the local mom groups and posts it in there. Hey, this is what's going on this month for this age group at this time. And it's another good, easy social media post that everybody can do.
And maybe finish up with this, Katie, because I know you've done a lot of events yourself, getting the community involved, your past clients. So, and I know some of them have been really affordable as well. They're not super expensive, lavish things, but you have hundreds of people show up. So finish on that. Tell us some tips on having a solid, using social media as well, but having a solid event and some tips agents can do if they want to do this community engagement that you recommend they could do Q1.
Definitely. So if you're a parent, go to your parent group. If you're not a parent, just go to your local community board and just start putting out a post. Hey, I'm looking at doing an event. I want some vendors. this is what date range I'm looking for, and you'll have people just pouring in. And that's actually how I started my vendor list. I've got over 500 people now on my vendor list. And that's how I keep it really cost effective, because everybody wants to work out a deal. A really great one that I had this past summer was the ice cream social. We had a snow cone machine come out to a local splash pad. Didn't cost me anything outside of the time for the ice cream truck, and did it for 2 hours, and we had a couple hundred people come out, and people will start recognizing that. And then you'll have vendors start reaching out to you. So look for those smaller vendors that people might not think of. Food trucks, local businesses that maybe like bookstore, art stores, where they might be able to host something a little bit smaller, wine tasting if it's based on the hour pricing, that kind of thing, and really see what you can work out deal wise for promoting them, and then also keeping it within your budget.
And so the truck that came out, the splash pad, if you don't mind sharing, you had a couple of hundred people come here and you got to meet all these people. What did that cost you roughly?
$175 and change.
All about return.
Yeah, that was it. It was really cost effective. We did it twice this summer. I got all the water bottles at Costco. The vendor came out, and then honestly, I just wrapped all the water bottles. I made a little print so everything went around the water bottles, and just let the kids have fun. And
guys, if you are working with other vendors as well, whether it's lenders, title companies, things like that, they will be pitching some money as well if they can show up. So you can get that from 170 down to maybe $100. So
exactly.
Awesome. That was great. Well, guys, like I said, in the comments right now, there is that graphic that we touched on. There's the Calendly invite. I believe Ashton and Alex give me a nod. We're going to send an email with those things as well, so people have them. Yep, I'm getting the nod. So we're going to send you an email with those as well, those people on the call. And yeah, in a couple of weeks, we'll have our next spotlight. But Katie, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And hopefully you get some people reach out to you and have a chat.
Thank you. Yes, I'm here for anybody with any questions they have, free consults, and let's get you guys rocking for 2023.
Awesome. Have a good one, guys. Speak to you soon.
Thank you.